Hello, friends. I'm going to be completely honest with you. If you're noticing that your memory isn't what it used to be, if you forget where you left your keys, or if names slip away from your mind more often than before, there are three simple, affordable foods sitting right there in your supermarket that can change everything. And here's the thing. Most people walk right past them without realizing they're holding some of the most powerful brain-protecting nutrients science has ever studied. These aren't exotic superfoods or expensive supplements. They're humble, everyday ingredients that can slow down Alzheimer's and help prevent dementia. My name is Dr. Amanda Wells, and I'm a specialist in mental health and cognitive well-being for older adults. Welcome to the Dr. Amanda Wells channel, where we talk about practical, evidence-based strategies to keep your mind sharp and your life full of clarity and purpose. Here's what recent research observes. People who regularly consume certain plant-based proteins show significantly lower rates of cognitive decline. Studies have found that these foods reduce inflammation, protect blood vessels in the brain, and even help regulate homocysteine levels, a compound linked to Alzheimer's when it's too high. In the next 20 minutes, we're going to uncover 3 plant proteins that act as true nutritional tools for your brain, and I'll show you exactly how each one works, what it does inside your body, and how you can start using them today. At the end, I'll give you a simple checklist you can save and follow immediately. But before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me your name, your age, and where you're watching from. I love connecting with this incredible community, and your stories inspire me every single day. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video that could change your life. Now, let's reveal the first brain-protecting powerhouse you need to know about. Let's start with something you've probably seen 1,000 times at the grocery store but never thought twice about: lentils. Yes, those small, humble legumes that cost almost nothing and sit quietly on the shelf. But here's what most people don't know. Lentils are one of the most underrated brain foods on the planet. And when I say brain food, I'm not talking about some vague health claim. I'm talking about real, measurable protection against cognitive decline, Alzheimer's, and dementia. So what makes lentils so special? First, they're packed with plant-based protein, which your brain needs to build and repair neurons. But that's just the beginning. Lentils are loaded with magnesium, potassium, fiber, and folate, 4 nutrients that work together like a symphony to keep your brain functioning at its best. Folate, in particular, is a game changer. It helps your body break down homocysteine, an amino acid that, when elevated, damages blood vessels in your brain and increases your risk of Alzheimer's. Studies show that people with high homocysteine levels have double the risk of developing dementia. Lentils help keep that number low. But there's more. Lentils are rich in fiber, and fiber does something incredible for your brain. It feeds the good bacteria in your gut. You might be wondering, what does my gut have to do with my brain? Everything. Scientists now call the gut the second brain because it produces neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, chemicals that regulate mood, memory, and focus. When your gut is healthy, your brain is healthy. When your gut is inflamed, your brain suffers. Lentils keep that gut-brain connection strong. And let's talk about inflammation for a second. Chronic inflammation is one of the biggest drivers of Alzheimer's and dementia. It's like a slow fire burning inside your body, damaging cells, including brain cells. Lentils contain polyphenols and antioxidants that put out that fire. They reduce inflammation, protect your neurons, and keep your blood vessels flexible and strong. Healthy blood vessels mean better blood flow to your brain, which means more oxygen, more nutrients, and sharper thinking. Here's the beautiful part. You don't need to eat lentils every single day to see benefits. Research suggests that eating legumes like lentils just 3 to 4 times a week can make a significant difference in cognitive health over time. Add them to soups, salads, stews, or even mash them into a spread. They're versatile, delicious, and ridiculously affordable. If you're serious about protecting your memory and keeping your mind clear as you age, Lentils are a non-negotiable addition to your diet. Now let's move on to the second plant protein that deserves a permanent spot in your kitchen: chickpeas. You might know them as garbanzo beans, and you've probably had them in hummus or tossed in a salad. But what you might not realize is that chickpeas are like an antioxidant shield for your brain. They don't just feed you, they actively protect your neurons from the kind of damage that leads to memory loss, confusion, and dementia. Here's what's happening inside your brain right now. Every single second, your cells are under attack from something called oxidative stress. Think of it like rust forming on metal. Free radicals, unstable molecules, are bouncing around, damaging your brain cells, weakening connections, and accelerating aging. This is where chickpeas come in. They're loaded with polyphenols, powerful antioxidants that neutralize free radicals before they can do harm. It's like having a team of bodyguards protecting your neurons 24/7. But chickpeas don't stop there. They contain something called choline, a nutrient that most people have never even heard of, but that your brain absolutely depends on. Choline is a building block for acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that's essential for memory, learning, and communication between brain cells. When acetylcholine levels drop, memory suffers. In fact, Alzheimer's patients often have severely low levels of this neurotransmitter. Eating chickpeas regularly helps keep acetylcholine production strong, which means better recall, sharper focus, and clearer thinking. And let's not forget about magnesium and vitamin C, both of which chickpeas deliver in abundance. Magnesium calms your nervous system, reduces stress, and supports healthy blood flow to the brain. Vitamin C, on the other hand, is one of the most potent antioxidants you can get. It protects the delicate blood vessels in your brain, reduces inflammation, and even helps regenerate other antioxidants like vitamin E. Together, these nutrients create a fortress around your cognitive health, making it much harder for Alzheimer's and dementia to take hold. Here's something I love about chickpeas. They're incredibly easy to incorporate into your life. Roast them with a little olive oil and spices for a crunchy snack. Blend them into hummus. Toss them into soups, stews, or grain bowls. You can even mash them and use them as a base for veggie burgers. The point is, you don't need fancy recipes or complicated meal plans. Just start eating chickpeas a few times a week, and your brain will thank you for it. This is one of those small changes that adds up to massive protection over time. And now, let's talk about the third plant protein that so many people overlook, misunderstand, or even avoid: tofu. I get it. Tofu has a reputation for being bland, boring, or too healthy. But here's the truth. Tofu is one of the most impressive brain-protecting foods you can eat. And once you understand what it does inside your body, you'll never look at it the same way again. This humble block of soy is packed with complete protein, omega-3 fatty acids, calcium, vitamin D, and powerful compounds called isoflavones, all of which work together to strengthen neural connections, reduce inflammation, and stabilize your memory as you age. Let's start with protein. Your brain is made up of billions of neurons, and those neurons need protein to function, repair themselves, and communicate with each other. Tofu provides all 9 essential amino acids, making it a complete protein, something rare in the plant world. This means your brain gets everything it needs to build neurotransmitters, maintain cell structure, and keep signals firing smoothly. And unlike animal proteins, tofu doesn't come with saturated fat or cholesterol, which can clog arteries and reduce blood flow to the brain. It's clean fuel for your mind. Now here's where tofu gets really interesting. Soy isoflavones. These are plant compounds that act like gentle, natural hormones in your body. Research shows that isoflavones can cross the blood-brain barrier and protect neurons from damage. They reduce inflammation, improve blood vessel function, and even support the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, a protein that helps your brain grow new connections and adapt to new information. Low BDNF levels are linked to Alzheimer's, depression, and cognitive decline. Tofu helps keep those levels healthy, which means a brain that stays flexible, resilient, and sharp. But there's more. Tofu is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, particularly alpha-linolenic acid, which your body converts into the same omega-3s found in fish. These fats are essential for maintaining the structure of brain cell membranes, reducing inflammation, and supporting communication between neurons. Studies have shown that people who consume more omega-3s have larger brain volumes and better memory performance as they age. And tofu delivers this without mercury, without fishy taste, and without breaking the bank. It's brain protection in its purest, simplest form. Here's how you can start using tofu today. Press it to remove excess water. Then marinate it in your favorite flavors: soy sauce, garlic, ginger, lemon, herbs, whatever you love. Bake it, stir-fry it, scramble it like eggs, or blend it into smoothies for a creamy texture. Tofu takes on whatever flavor you give it, which makes it one of the most versatile ingredients in your kitchen. Eat it 2 to 3 times a week, and you're giving your brain a steady supply of the nutrients it needs to fight off Alzheimer's, prevent dementia, and keep your memory strong for decades to come. Now that you know the 3 plant proteins that protect your brain, let me give you a simple, delicious way to combine them into one powerful meal. This is what I call the memory bowl, a recipe that brings together lentils, chickpeas, and tofu in a way that's easy to prepare, packed with flavor, and loaded with every nutrient your brain needs to stay sharp and resilient. You don't need to be a chef to make this. You just need a few basic ingredients and about 30 minutes. Here's how you make it. Start by cooking 1 cup of lentils in vegetable broth until they're tender, about 20 minutes. While the lentils are cooking, drain and rinse a can of chickpeas. Toss them with a little olive oil, cumin, and paprika. Then roast them in the oven at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes until they're crispy. At the same time, press a block of tofu to remove excess water. Cut it into cubes and pan-fry it in a bit of sesame oil with garlic, ginger, and a splash of soy sauce until it's golden and crispy on the edges. Now you have 3 brain-protecting ingredients ready to go. Next, build your bowl. Start with a base of leafy greens. Spinach, kale, or arugula all work beautifully. Add the cooked lentils, the roasted chickpeas, and the crispy tofu on top. Then add some color and crunch. Sliced avocado for healthy fats, shredded carrots for beta-carotene, cherry tomatoes for lycopene, and a handful of walnuts or pumpkin seeds for extra omega-3s and magnesium. Drizzle everything with a simple dressing made from tahini, lemon juice, a touch of maple syrup, and a pinch of salt. Mix it all together, and you've got a meal that tastes incredible and feeds your brain exactly what it needs. What I love about this recipe is that it's not just nutritious, it's satisfying. You're getting complete protein, fiber, antioxidants, healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals all in one bowl. And because it's plant-based, it's naturally anti-inflammatory, which means it's actively working to protect your neurons, improve blood flow, and reduce your risk of cognitive decline. You can make a big batch at the beginning of the week and eat it for lunch or dinner over the next few days. It keeps well in the fridge, and the flavors actually get better as they sit together. And here's a bonus tip. If you want to take this meal to the next level, add a sprinkle of turmeric to your lentils while they cook. Turmeric contains curcumin, a compound that's been shown to cross the blood-brain barrier and reduce the plaques associated with Alzheimer's disease. Pair it with a pinch of black pepper, which increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%, and you've just turned a simple bowl into a brain-protecting powerhouse. This is the kind of food that doesn't just fill you up. It protects your mind, sharpens your memory, and gives you the energy and clarity to live your best life at any age. Now, before we finish, I need to talk to you about something that most people don't realize. Even if you start eating lentils, chickpeas, and tofu regularly, there are 3 common mistakes that can completely sabotage your brain health. And the scary part? Most people over 60 are making at least one of these mistakes every single day without even knowing it. So let's talk about what's stealing your mental clarity, your memory, and your focus. And more importantly, how to fix it starting today. Mistake number 1, you're not drinking enough water. I know, it sounds too simple to be true. But here's what's happening. Your brain is about 75% water, and even mild dehydration, just 1 to 2% below optimal hydration, can impair your memory, slow your reaction time, and make it harder to concentrate. Studies show that older adults are especially vulnerable to dehydration because the sensation of thirst decreases with age. You might not feel thirsty, but your brain is already suffering. Dehydration reduces blood flow to the brain, which means less oxygen and fewer nutrients reaching your neurons. Over time, chronic dehydration can actually shrink brain tissue and accelerate cognitive decline. The fix? Drink at least 6 to 8 glasses of water every day. Keep a water bottle with you. Set reminders on your phone. Add a slice of lemon or cucumber if plain water feels boring. And here's a pro tip. Eat water-rich foods like cucumbers, watermelon, oranges, and celery. Hydration isn't just about what you drink. It's also about what you eat. Mistake number 2. You're eating too much sugar. This one is huge, and it's one of the fastest ways to damage your brain without realizing it. When you eat sugar, especially refined sugar from sweets, sodas, pastries, and processed foods, your blood sugar spikes, and then it crashes. Those crashes leave you feeling foggy, tired, and irritable. But the real damage happens over time. High blood sugar levels cause inflammation throughout your body, including in your brain. They damage blood vessels, reduce blood flow, and increase your risk of developing insulin resistance, a condition that's been called type 3 diabetes because of its strong link to Alzheimer's disease. Research shows that people with diabetes have double the risk of developing dementia. And even if you're not diabetic, eating too much sugar accelerates brain aging and weakens memory. The fix? Cut back on refined sugars and replace them with natural sweetness from fruits, dates, or a drizzle of honey. Choose whole grains over white bread and pasta. And here's the key. Pair your carbs with protein and healthy fats to keep your blood sugar stable. For example, if you're eating an apple, add a handful of almonds. If you're having oatmeal, stir in some ground flaxseed and a spoonful of almond butter. Stable blood sugar equals a stable, sharp mind. Mistake number 3. You're not moving your body enough. I'm not talking about running marathons or lifting heavy weights. I'm talking about simple, consistent movement. Walking, stretching, dancing, gardening, anything that gets your heart rate up and your blood flowing. Here's why this matters so much. When you move your body, you increase blood flow to your brain. That means more oxygen, more nutrients, and more of something called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, the protein I mentioned earlier that helps your brain grow new connections and stay flexible. Exercise also reduces inflammation, lowers stress hormones like cortisol, and improves sleep quality, all of which protect your memory and cognitive function. Studies show that people who exercise regularly have larger hippocampi, the part of the brain responsible for memory, and they perform better on memory tests than people who are sedentary. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment. Just 30 minutes of walking 5 times a week can make a massive difference. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Dance to your favorite music in your living room. Do some gentle yoga or tai chi. The point is to move your body every single day, even if it's just a little bit. Your brain will reward you with sharper thinking, better mood, and stronger memory. So there you have it. 3 mistakes that are quietly stealing your brain power, and 3 simple fixes that can turn everything around. Drink more water. Cut back on sugar. Move your body every day. Combine these habits with the 3 plant proteins we talked about, lentils, chickpeas, and tofu, and you've got a complete, powerful strategy for protecting your brain, preventing Alzheimer's, and keeping your memory sharp for decades to come. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Small changes done consistently add up to life-changing results. Before we wrap up, I want to ask you to do something for me, and for yourself. If you found this video helpful, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Leave a comment below and tell me which of these 3 plant proteins you're going to start eating this week: lentils, chickpeas, or tofu. And if you know someone who's worried about their memory or wants to protect their brain as they age, share this video with them. Knowledge like this is too important to keep to yourself, and you might just change someone's life by passing it along. Here's what I want you to remember. Protecting your brain doesn't require expensive treatments, complicated diets, or miracle pills. It starts with simple, affordable, everyday foods like lentils, chickpeas, and tofu. 3 plant proteins that science shows can slow down Alzheimer's, prevent dementia, and keep your mind clear and sharp for years to come. You have the power to take control of your cognitive health, and it starts with the choices you make at the grocery store and in your kitchen. Eat these foods regularly, stay curious, stay connected, and keep challenging your mind. Your future self will thank you. Always remember, your mind is your greatest asset.